How are you? Hope you're doing well. 513-873-7134. Hey, listen, please take a second to like and share today's show. I want to get things started. On today's show, I want to talk about a phrase that I've been using more and more. It first came to me after making observations during a pandemic, and that is humans worse than COVID. I've got examples of humans acting worse than COVID, among other things that I would like to discuss with you this morning. 513-873-7134. Please take a second to like and in particular share today's stream. It means everything in advance. Good morning to you. Welcome to the last honest place in Cincinnati media. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. I want to talk about everything from the big school board meeting last night. It seems as if the writing is on the wall. I'll tell you what I've seen, what I've heard. Someone sent me a message. I tried to watch most of it. I jumped off near the tail end of the conversation last night with the hopes of circling back around in the morning and kind of catching up. But someone sent a message to me saying that Ben Lindy called out Melanie Bates. Is that true? If so, share your thoughts with me this morning. Again, 513-873-7134. Yes, let's get it. Let's get it. Thank you. Hey, what's up, Ab Jeep? Thank you. Appreciate you. Let's get it. What's up, friends? How are you? How have the last 24 hours treated you? Hopefully treated you good. Let's get back into it. Welcome back to the world. Welcome back. Let's get into it. You can always text your thoughts into the show as well. And I'll try to read your comments. You can also interact with the other listeners of the show via the chat room. Viva La Chapas. Good morning to you. Viva La Chapas. How are you? Oh, okay. I see. Give me 1 second. We'll get that going to my audio choppers. Good morning to you. Pat's in the house. She writes, good morning. Good to see you, Pat. Anthony writes, good morning, Chop Shop. Good morning to you, everybody. Good morning. How are you? Hope you're doing well. There I am. There it is. All live and indirect. All right. Where should we go? Man, it's a lot to talk about. So you had a big school board meeting. Let's start with the local stuff and we'll work our way out. Had a big school board meeting. Now, someone sent me a little bit of information yesterday, and I posted on Facebook as soon as I could. And this was yesterday, right after the show. Someone whose opinion I trust. Someone said that the CPS school board, this was yesterday, so 24 hours ago. Someone said that the CPS school board was thinking of going back to 5-day in-person learning. And after watching that meeting, there are many school board members, it appears, that are in favor of that plan. But as I was sitting there listening to them talk, it just felt like they were asking questions that they should have been asking a long time ago. Like a lot of the things that we brought up and people were bringing up, like doing parent surveys and getting a snapshot of how the parents feel, whether it be at Walnut Hills or wherever else, before you make these life and death decisions, would make a lot of sense. And now I hear them saying those kind of things. Melanie Bates was there. She did mention Walnut Hills. I don't know. It's like every time she mentioned Walnut Hills, a part of me cringed a little bit like, you fake. Stop it, sis. Stop with the fakeness. I saw in local media this morning that there are more people caping for Melanie Bates. So I guess it's true. And the rumor is that she has a lot of support. So I'll be honest with you. From what I saw last night with the school board, I mean, you got many of the school board members that are putting it on the table. They want to get back to 5 days a week in person and try to work out any virtual options so it could be more equitable. And if and when they feel as if they feel good about that, which could be sometime in the month of March, next couple of weeks, then that's what they look like they're going to do. Um, it was interesting. I mean, it was very, very interesting. I heard a different voice, though, quite honestly, in my opinion. I heard a different tone. I heard more questions than I had heard in previous board meetings. So we'll see what that means exactly. What is your sense of the Cincinnati School Board? They've been going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. I heard Carolyn Jones says we just need to make a decision. However, at the same time, personally, I feel as if, hey, it may not be safe. And she didn't say that. That's my loose paraphrasing of what she said, but in her intent. But oh my God, just do what's best for public safety. You still got school board member Lindy talking about other school districts. I get it. I understand it. I kind of understand it. I kind of don't understand it, but it is what it is. We are where we are, family. 513-873-7134. There. You've got my number. And if you don't, and you want to share your thoughts, boom, there it is right there on the screen. I want to talk about that this morning. I saw a very entertaining news clip. I believe it was from CNN. I am prepared to show it to you this morning. It is hilarious. It's one of the funniest things that you're going to see in a long time. And basically, these QAnon supporters believe that on March, 15th, something's going to happen, and then Trump's going to be the president again. And so that's how the con game is like never ending. They just kind of string it all the way out. There's always a promise just over the ridge line. There's always this or that just over the ridge line that you can't really see. And so therefore you don't really know. And you just got to stay on board with the con game and go over the ridge line. Oh, and then they just keep pushing the goal mark back further and further and further with these QAnon folks. It is hilarious. I'll play that for you. It's worth your time. I thought that they still doing this? I've seen this article several times in my timeline over the last 24 hours. Board of Elections will certify Cincinnati mayoral candidates. Some protests expected. That's supposed to happen today. Now, remember, it was last week when we talked with both Kelly Prather and we also talked with, and she mentioned Joe Mallory, and then Joe Mallory called in and set the record straight from his perspective. Because there was, Kelly Prather, black female, Democrat, running for mayor. She fell 56 signatures short of 500. And she says that she tried to meet the requirement and she came back several times. Hold on. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Got it. Okay. Yeah, I can do that for sure. Absolutely. Oh, okay. I see. Um, yeah, that was from a listener and a sponsor. Give me 1 second. I want to make sure I take it all the way in. Okay, got it. So, as I was saying, so there's supposed to be a big, I don't know how big it's going to be. There's supposed to be some protest at the Board of Elections today, and we'll see what happens. Kelly Prather is saying that something strange went on. We talk with her. She feels as if it's personal and that people are trying to keep her from getting on the ballot. Remember, she called in, and then Joe Mallory called in and said, I got a slightly different view on this. And 56 signatures short of 500, man. Whew. My thing about it is this: if you feel like you've been wronged, I would never tell somebody who feels like they've been wronged that they should just let it go. If she feel like she's been wronged, yeah, I'm on the air, Dan. I'm on the air. He said he can't find me. I'm not sure why not. Everyone else has found me. But if you feel like you've been wronged, you have in my opinion, you should have every right to try to make that right, to try to set that record straight, to try to go get your justice. I would never tell Kelly Prather not to. On the other hand, as I was asking, yeah. I would never tell somebody that. But at the same time, when we talk with Joe Mallory, he seemed to have a different opinion, like as if she just didn't meet the threshold because there was just some things that just weren't done correctly. And she told the story about how she was out there, she was in the snow, some of the petitions got wet. So rather than turn in the wet petitions, she made photocopies that were dry and then turned those in. And then Joe called in and was like, well, you can't do that. You can't do photocopies. Maybe if you had the both of the copies sort of fastened or stapled or whatever together and then turn them in, that might have been valid. But that's a tough road right there. You mean you put all that hard work into it, you got big plans, and then you find out that you came up a little bit short with the signatures. I will say that there were two other mayoral candidates that came up short with the signatures, and they don't seem to have the same view as Kelly Prather. So, we'll find out what happens today. My question when I was talking with Joe is what I wanted to figure out was what can be done. Like, is there at this point, the deadline's already been passed, right? Is it possible? Is there any legal possibility in which they're going to go back and recount and then find 56 votes? Because if not, then I wonder what's the point of all of this? You know what I'm saying? If it's not going to change. But we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. So the Board of Elections is supposed to meet today at 8:30 a.m. Okay, they're going to meet at 8:30 a.m. and they're going to hear a challenge filed by Hyde Park conservative activist Mark Miller on the validity of the petition filed by mayoral candidate Avtab Piraval. So they're after Avtab. It's like they want to do whatever they can and try to stop certain people from becoming the mayor of Cincinnati. It looks like Avtab has got some enemies, or at least some political opponents out there that want to try to stop him. I'm not sure what that's all about. So I have to wait and see. And as I said, it was Wendell Young, and there's another individual who didn't, the Board of Elections said, Adam Kohler. So you have Wendell Young, Adam Kohler, and Kelly Prather. And those were the three mayoral candidates that the Board of Elections said didn't have enough valid signatures. And again, that's tough, man. That's real tough because on one hand, it's like again, if she feels in her heart, I'll just keep putting it this way. If she feels like in her heart that something went down and she feels some kind of way about that and she's looking for her justice, then she got to go for it. After we got that call from Joe, I had a less optimistic viewpoint about her chances. But again, that's just me sitting on the radio. Okay, I haven't looked at the ballots. I don't know. We'll find out today. So a little bit of what's happening here locally in the city of Cincinnati. Also, people are still searching for the bodies of the body of that young boy, Nilo. There was another young boy who was, they feel like tragically murdered as well. They're looking for his body. I mean, just tragic things happening with our kids, man. I'm telling you, humans worse than COVID. COVID did not kill Nilo Lattimore and his mother. It was humans. We need to watch out for the humans. Just like with the school board. The school board's got a mixed bag of all kind of, in some cases, competing agendas. COVID has got one. Stay alive. That's it. Nothing more. Yeah, that kind of single-minded determination is difficult to beat when you're scattered brain, right? You're trying to do everything and please all folks. So we'll find out. I know there was a lot of people as I was watching. It was hilarious to me. I'll be honest with you. I chuckled every single time. As I was watching the school board, every single time somebody said Melanie Bates needs to resign, I thought it was hilarious. I got a weird sense of humor. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I have a weird sense of humor. So I thought it was hilarious. But, people in Cincinnati have no shame, And then we got people actively working against the best interest of us collectively because it's in their own personal best agenda interest. And so until we get some of these folks out of the way, it's going to be real difficult to really turn the corner in the city of Cincinnati. But we are what we are. We're doing what we're doing. It is what it is. Anthony writes, good morning, Chop Shop. Pat writes, good morning. Iona writes, good morning, everyone. Deborah Nesbitt writes, good morning, Wakanda. Jerome writes, good morning, Nate and Choppers. Good morning, everybody. Pamela writes, good morning. Yolanda writes, good morning, everyone. Lisa writes, good morning, beautiful people. Teresa writes, Grand Risings. What a beautiful morning. Let's all have a great Tuesday. It is a beautiful morning. It's beautiful outside. It's great. It's great workout weather. Get that workout in. Amina writes, yeah, so what happened with the school board meeting? I couldn't watch it. So they didn't make any definitive plans, as I understand it, about that. They're still looking. Some of the board members want more information, and rightly so. I mean, they just did a parent survey for Walnut Hills. We received it, and the deadline is like Friday. And they're looking for more information about your experience and even perhaps how you feel about, in-person learning. I haven't got a chance to go through the entire survey yet, but you understand we're going to do our survey in our household, make sure we turn that in. And so then when they get that information, then maybe they'll sit down and make a decision. I mean, basically, look, what's happened with the board, in my opinion, is they was doing ish the wrong way. They just really they weren't on top of their game in terms of community partner game and communication game, right? And so now I'm hearing them say things that I wish that they would have said a month ago. I'm hearing people ask questions and voice their reservations that they should have did a month and a half ago. But it took the community to let them know that we are watching and we will reach out electronically and let you know how we feel for them to really get to this point, quite honestly. But we will have to wait and see. And as I'm sitting there, it just seems like there's a lot they don't know. You know what I'm saying? It seems like there was a lot of information that they're still struggling to get. And as I'm sitting there watching these board members, I wonder to myself, how much actual in-school time are board members, spending time on? Like, how many of these board members have been to the schools and have a firsthand idea of what's going on? You know what I'm saying? To me, that seems hella valuable. Seems hella valuable to me that these board members who are making these critical decisions during the pandemic would have some real life experiences that they can use to help inform their decisions. You know what I'm saying? Don't all this stuff about reports and that's great. If you're not there and you can't see for yourself, then you're always going to be getting it secondhand. And I don't understand. If the schools are so safe, then what's so difficult about the board members going to the schools if they haven't already? I'm sure many of them already have. And then, visiting different schools during this time so they get a sense of what's really happening. And so rather than waiting for information from the administration, and that's going to be completely filtered. But that's just me. I just got a sense that there's still an information deficit. And it's like, well, how can you make a decision without this information? Like things they're asking for now, they should have been asking for 2 months ago before they made the decision for the entire district. It's frustrating, but it is what it is. Brandy writes, good morning. Good to see you, Brandy. Amina writes, March is off to a great start. How are you, Nate? I'm doing well. I'm looking forward to it because the cold weather took me off of my workout game. So I like to incorporate a nice walk on a daily basis. So now that the weather is turning, I'm taking full advantage of it. Brenda writes, good morning from Fairfield. Good to see you, Brenda. Angela writes, good morning, Choppers and Nate. Good morning to you. Kelly writes, good morning. Amina writes, at this point, they should wait till fall semester to return to full in person. I would agree with you completely, but somewhere in the minds of these board members, they can't see that, Amina. It's just something about, I don't know what it is, but there's something that's preventing the majority of the board members from coming to the same logical conclusion that many of us already have. And that is, this is a wash. The school year is nearly over. We've got a quarter and a half left. Why not go back at the beginning of the quarter? That makes more sense after spring break, if that's what it ends up being. I don't have the quarter system in front of me, but they feel very strongly about the school district falling behind because everybody else is in school and the kids at CPS are not. So again, the writing on the wall that I am seeing is prepare for a fast track to 5 days in-person learning. That's what it appears. And they're going to try to tinker with and try to make it more equitable, the software learning. They call it digital academy learning, but it's really software learning. Your kid is sitting there talking with software. That's what it is. Marquetta writes, they actually are sending out a survey to parents this time. God bless them. How simple was that? How difficult was it for them to do that before? Why didn't they do this in December and January? Just send out a damn parent survey. Just send out a parent survey. And get and have something from the parents. Do a teacher survey. It's real simple. OJ Wellburn's in the house. He writes, "Good morning, Nathan and the Choppers." TWE, the Wellburn Experience. Good morning to you. Daryl writes, "Good morning, Nathan and the Choppers." Good morning to you. Hey, Kelly Prather's in the house. I was just talking about you. Yeah, big day today. Hope it goes well. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but I hope it goes well. Again, if somebody did something strange with the ballots, I hope they're brought to justice. Hope they lose their jobs and or worse. Amina writes, "The spring break is in a couple of weeks. Then what, they come back for 8 weeks of in-person learning? Stop jerking these kids around." Sheesh, right. I'm with you 100%, but it sounds like we are coming from a perspective of safety and logic. And that's not the perspective that the school board is coming from. They're coming from a completely different perspective. They're coming from, oh, the kids are losing every single day that they're not in school. And then they're balancing what they're hearing from some parents who want to go back every single day. And then parents who are like, pump the brakes, is not ready yet. But we are where we are. The great leverage piece is that the vast majority, all of the other CPS schools are back except for Walnut. So this is just a question for Walnut. Well, then, the other schools going back 5 days a week too. So we'll see. Brian writes, morning. Deborah writes March 4th. Absolutely. Tiffany Daniels is in the house. Good to see you, Tiffany. Tracy writes, good morning. Charles writes, Grand Risings, Nate and the Choppers. Good morning to you. Tiffany Rivers is in the house. Good to see you. Dee writes, I was watching medical professionals on national news encouraging governors not to relax rules on opening places up because it will hinder progress. Right. These governors, every governor, the majority of what I've seen from the governors is that some of them appear to, let me just talk about Ohio's governor. I won't talk about anybody else's governor. The governor in Ohio, Mike DeWine, is super thirsty to beat his chest and say, I beat COVID. But I would agree with you. I'm reading the same thing, Dee, where medical professionals are saying, let's not go too far here or we can blow the deal. You could blow the deal. So let's not do that. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Amina's in the house. Good morning to you. Exactly. Lemmy writes, good morning. Amina writes, nope, you can't do photocopies. Right. Speaking of Kelly in that situation, yeah. I mean, that's tough, though. 56 votes. And you out here, and I would imagine that with COVID going on, remember the winter, all of the weather that we have, I would imagine it was hella difficult trying to get signatures at this particular time. You got the weather, you're fighting COVID. It's just not like it used to be. If you stand outside, like I used to see a lot of people standing outside of grocery stores, okay, and they would have the little clipboard there. I mean, but during COVID, do you really want to share a clipboard with 100 people? Do you really want to touch a clipboard? I know I don't. Do you really want to touch somebody's pen? Like, here you go. You like, I'm sorry. I forgot. What'd you forget? I forgot something. I'll be back tomorrow if I come back, right? You don't really want to touch all that stuff. So I could imagine getting anywhere near 500 valid signatures was difficult. And what, she got 540 something or 440 something, 450 something signatures? That's work. And to come up that short, I can imagine being pissed. I would be disappointed. So I get that. She writes, gotta be original. Good morning. Good morning to you. Deafmere Moments. Good morning to you. Amina writes, deadline is passed. Hey, what's up, Dan? Good to see you. Yeah, the deadline is passed. So so how does this play out today? Let's say 100 people show up to support Kelly Prather today. They're going to be outside. You can only have so many people inside of the Hamilton County Courthouse the Hamilton County Board of Elections right now anyway. I just don't understand what's going to happen. Like if the deadline has already been passed and they feel as if they certified the votes to the best of their ability, I don't understand where the wiggle room is. What exactly? There's nothing left for them to do. Like even if they wanted to, they couldn't go back and change it. So that's why I was asking Joe and asking Kelly about, so what are the options here? You know what I'm saying? Is there a realistic option that because a bunch of people show up at the Board of Elections today, that's going to put pressure on the Board of Elections to overturn their own rules? I don't see that. I don't see that happening. But again, I don't have all the details, so we'll find out. Good morning, Nathan, and everyone. Have a safe and wonderful day. Hey, what's up, Deshauna? Tiffany writes, I like Adam. Do you? Okay. Good to see you. What's up, Brittany? Good to see you, Brittany Dean. What? You got the Black Love wedding pic too, sis? All right, I see you. I see you. Looking good. Anthony writes, still say if she has originals that match the copies, they should accept them. Oh, okay. That's what you're saying. So if she had, let's say, 50 votes, that she has both the photocopy and the original, and let's say she turned in the original without the photocopy, and had she done that, they would have been. Oh, I hear what you're saying. Okay, so let's explore that for a second. So let's say that there were 50, and that would have been enough to get Kelly Prather on the ballot. Let's say there's 50 valid signatures on her petition. The only problem was instead of turning in the original, she turned in the photocopies because they were wet. They fell in the snow. Let's say she produces those today. I don't know. That's an interesting question because on one hand, you could say that even though the deadline has passed, that, and I don't know if they tabulate and keep these kind of information, but if these were in fact the originals to the photocopies that she turned in before the deadline, is that any wiggle room for them to be valid? That would mean that for that to work, in my opinion, again, I'm no Board of Elections law, anything. I have no knowledge about it whatsoever, so I'm spitballing. But that to me would mean that they had a list of the names that she had previously turned in that were photocopies, and then they can compare that list to whatever she would produce today. And I don't know if the Board of Election does that. So maybe that's a scenario right there. That could be a scenario right there. I don't know. All right. 513-873-7134. Pardon me. I had to sneeze this morning. You didn't need to see all of that. You don't want to hear. Nah, you good. So maybe there's a point. Maybe there's something there. I don't know. But when I brought that up to Joe, he was like, well, the deadline is passed, so we'll have to wait and see. It's going to be interesting. Hey, good morning to you, Sister Iris. Good to see you. Tiff writes, good morning. Good to see you, Tiff. Good to see you. Anthony writes, the other child was killed by his mother, even worse. Right. I mean, damn it, man. These little kids, it's a dead. Where is G-O-D? Everybody believe in G-O-D. Where is G-O-D for these young babies? 6-year-olds that are being murdered by adults. Where was God then? Where is G-O-D? If G-O-D is an all-powerful, benevolent, entity, spirit, when are you going to show up and save these babies? Humans worse than COVID. COVID could never do to us what we have done to ourselves. Glenn writes, morning, Nate, in the Facebook choppers. Good to see you. Dale writes, here in Georgia, the state house passed voter suppression laws. They're not playing, people. We need to pressure senators to abolish the filibuster. H.R. 1 and H.R. 4, John Lewis Voting Rights Act, are crucial. Oh, yeah, they're not playing no games. Were you down in Georgia? Yeah. I read about it. They are serious. See, that's what the Republican Party does. I'm going to be honest with you. If they lose elections, they don't go back to the drawing board and think, you know what, we got to build better policies. We need to be more responsive to the people. You know what? What are the policies that our voters really, really care about? Let's focus on that. They don't do that. What they do is they double down on the dumb, like they're doing with Donald Trump, doubling down after CPAC. They run around talking about how he might be the candidate in 2024. That's right, Donald Trump, the worst first-term president or one-term president we ever had across the board. He spent more time golfing and congratulating himself than he did anything else. He spent more time, well, I take that back. He spent more time lying, golfing, and talking about his own accomplishments and exaggerating his own accomplishments. But you can put that under lying, right? Arguing with the media about meaningless stuff. He spent more time talking about fake news than he did talk about the minimum wage. He spent more time talking about fake news than he did about, I don't know, lifting redlining of black neighborhoods. He spent more time talking about fake news than he did a black agenda. He spent more time talking about lies, golfing, and then fake news more than anything else. Worst president ever. And they want him to be the candidate in 2024. Yeah. And on top of it, in a lot of these states in which Donald Trump lost, right? In some cases like Georgia, historic, right? You had Republican legislators that are now passing laws to legally try to take away your vote, to make it as difficult as possible. It's all designed in some of these cases, like in Georgia, at the black vote in particular. They're trying to steal. They want to make it more difficult for black voters to vote because look at what happened in Georgia. Well, we got 2 Democrat senators. Well, we can't have that again. What are we going to do? Okay, well, let's come up with some ways to make it more difficult for these kind of people because we know these people overwhelmingly vote for the Democrat Party to actually vote. And where are the black Republicans? Our resident black Republican, he's sick to tired of me now. He's sick to death of me. But our resident black Republican, he spends all his time talking about where's Obama. And now he wants to talk about Joe Biden. He won't say a word about the fact that his own party is going after his own people. It's a damn shame. What's up? Oh, what's up, Nadir? Brother Nadir. You writes great day, my brother Nathan. Hey, good to see you, man. Over in Ghana, holding it down. Amina writes, typical Cincinnati type shit. Yep. Greg writes, Grand Risings, Nate and the Choppers. Good morning to you. I mean, everybody has called the school board out. Everybody, even local media, the Inquirer's gotten involved, saying basically they need to make up their minds. And I agree with that only if you're making the right decision. Like, I don't give leadership props for standing by their guns and it's obvious they've chosen the wrong decision. I don't give you any props for that. Some people be like, oh, they're standing by their guns. I don't want you to stand by your guns. I want you to stand by what's best for public health. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want you to do. And what happened with the board is they got exposed. They got exposed by this show. They got exposed by the parents because what happened was people started to pay more attention to what they were actually saying. Like, oh, wait a minute. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. How are they making these decisions? And so now when I watch the board, it seems like they're choosing their words a bit more carefully and being a bit more pensive, as they should be. As they should be. Nothing wrong with that. Maurice writes, morning all, but yes, how can anyone trust Base with her personal feelings coming to light? She needs to go. Y'all are hilarious, man. y'all ain't gonna let her live, huh? It is what it is. Amina writes, they should be required to spend so many hours each month inside the schools. That should be part of the role requirements. I agree. I know that Donnie B was making the point that they should be paid as well. I agree with that. I think they should be paid. Sometimes in most cases, you get what you pay for. Maxine writes, amen. It's gotten so bad with the setups that I don't want mine other than children playing with white, Latinos, Asian children. What's really sad is especially the many safe-hating black ones. There's a lot of self-loathing black people in our community, unfortunately. They look at themselves. They don't see pretty. They don't see pretty. They look at themselves in some cases. They don't see the future. They see negative reflections, unfortunately. That's what I wonder too, Nate. How often do the members visit the schools other than photo ops, right? I'm sure they are. But it seems to me as if they could go, because of some of the questions that they're asking, it's like, well, you should do it. Just like POSSUP. Like if you're a school board member, you should have a POSSUP account and you should be going through the process too, because you need to understand what the parents and what the public is seeing. Anything that any system process CPS is set up, y'all need to go through it in case, so you know what people are dealing with. All right. So I want to say it again. We did have the winners for the mystery history game. We did that starting last Friday. Wait, from 2 Fridays ago, and we ended this past Friday. And I gave a message to all of the winners, so make sure you check and to double check to make sure. Again, I'm just saying it again. Tammy Watkins Starworth, you are a winner. Greg Holloway, Marisha Butler, those are the winners. The grand prize winner was Tammy Watkins. She won the first prize, and then Greg Holloway and Marisha Butler won the second prize. Okay. So just respond. I sent you all messages. Please respond, and then I will send you the details on how you can redeem it. Pretty simple. That was brought to you by imgbat.com. That is a Black-owned, online, handcrafted jewelry and art store, and they partner with us to do mystery history. So please check that out. Lots of fun right there. Today's show is also brought to you by the good folks over at Team Wellburn. All right, check this out.
It's that well-born experience. It's that well-born experience. That well-born experience. 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 It's that well-born experience. Yeah, that well-born experience. Yeah, that well-born experience. Experience. Tell us what you need. That's the question we start with. We specialize selling condos, houses, apartments. Make sure that you happy with your residence. Keep it real, no filter. Otis, the realtor from the nattiest heaven sent. It's the well-born experience. Ain't nothing like it. Every time he talk to his client, he's so excited just knowing he able to put them in a place to lay their head. Not focusing on his profits, but on the client instead. Right. He keeps it so professional and from his conversation. You can tell he studies before sharing information. Educated, motivated, ain't nobody better. Who's willing to walk you through every step to relieve the pressure? Yeah, and just so you know it's real, you get a special personalized rug once he closes the deal. So go on, call him up so he can get you live. 513-252-1055.
1055. 513-252-1055. And their website this morning, thewellburnexperience.com. Again, you can check them out at thewellburnexperience.com this morning. And if you want to give them a call, I'll shoot the number to you one more time. 513-252-1055. Again, 513-252-1055.
Looking for great pay with a great family-owned company? Pinnacle Protection Agency is seeking professional installers. Pinnacle Protection Agency is innovative security for your world, offering services for commercial and residential clientele, which include smart home and business technology, intrusion, fire, surveillance and doorbell cameras, and a whole lot more. We want to hire experienced installers and are willing to train. Please send your resume to info@pinnacleprotectionagency.com. That's info@pinnacleprotectionagency.com. Call 513-506-5010.
Again, 513-506-5010. And then that's my friends over at Pinnacle Protection Agency. You can send your resume to info@pinnacleprotectionagency.com this morning. info@pinnacleprotectionagency.com. All right. Make sure you check them out. Also, the good folks at renewcommunitychurch.org. That is their website. They're kicking off 2021 with something new. It's their Focus 2021 series. They want to inspire you and give you the tips and the tools to get focused so you can live your best life as we kick off this new calendar new year. And in that effort, in that spirit, they are offering a free ebook to you this morning. There's a link in today's description to their website, a 142-page ebook you can download this morning. And they're also offering 30 minutes of coaching. So if you have an issue, could be a business issue, question, could be a spiritual question, could be something you're dealing with personally, you can get one-on-one coaching with Charlie Winburn free, 30 minutes of coaching. All you have to do, to get the ball rolling, to get the process started, to focus 2021 is to download the ebook today. Again, there's a link in today's description. All right, so we got some business taken care of. Let me jump inside. Okay, I see we don't have the audio up right now. See here. Big Papa John writes, good morning. Last night, the board members started putting forward ideas that everyone was asking for 10 months ago. Right. I picked that up, Big Papa John. All it took was the glare of the media and the voices of the parents in the community to have them think it all the way through. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we were right. When we talked with the board members going back now 2-3 weeks ago, they was on some dumbish. It didn't make sense. It's like, how are you arriving at this decision? Where is your, show me your work. It don't compute. And so now when I listen to them, it sounds as if they're being a bit more thoughtful. Like you say it. I picked it up myself. Now they're asking questions that they should have been asking months ago. Now you're talking about parent surveys. Damn it. You should have been doing that. How do you make these life and death decisions in a vacuum? Come on now, that's egotistical as hell. It really is. Somebody told me that Ben Lindy basically, let me look at the message here. I want to make sure I read the message nearly verbatim so I can get it in. I want to make sure I get this in. Hold on 1 second here. Okay. So let me double check here. All righty. Okay, still waiting on it. Okay. Well, that hasn't come in yet, so I'm still waiting on it. Hold on, let me double check here. So yeah, here's what somebody sent me. They said he called the question what she said and asked if there was a process to investigate and remove board members, and if not, how could they create one? What's so funny? Oh, okay. It's the wifey messing with me. You see me? I'm trying to work. Damn. See, I'm trying to do my thing. Vernon writes, good morning. Good morning to you, Vernon. Tracy writes, so we just throwing kids in the river now? I mean, no, we not, sis. No, it's these folks that's got some obvious mental health issues. I saw the saddest thing over the weekend. Somebody sent me a video of what appeared to be Nilo Lattimore and his mother, happier times, and then the man, I think Deshaun Brown is his name, who was accused of murdering them both by Hamilton County prosecutors. And he was rolling a blunt in the foreground, but in the background, you could see this little boy, just a handsome little boy, just a cute little boy, right? You know what I'm saying? All kids want to do is play and get some love. That's it. And get some food. That's it. They want to chill out. And you could see him playing with his mother in the background. It was the saddest thing. Other family, it had me tore up for a minute. I'm like, oh, man. Because I just saw this over the weekend, but we know what happened to them. And I'm just looking at them like, man, they had no idea. Prosecutors are saying that this man, Deshaun Brown, that he had planned to do this for like some time beforehand. He had leading up to it. And I've heard through various sources that mental illness could have been an issue in this as well. So again, there's such a rush to label people evil. And then sometimes the actions that we see are the actions of people that are dealing with some serious mental illness issues. You know what I'm saying? That whole scenario could have played out differently. But I think there was a lack of disrespect when I saw him rolling up a blunt and then you blowing smoke into the air. There's a kid right behind you. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm pro marijuana. I'm pro whatever adults want to do. I'm pro smoking it. I'm pro eating it. I'm pro drinking it. I'm pro whatever you want to do. You should be able to do it. But damn it, you blowing dro into the face of children out here? You can't wait. You can't go outside. You can't make sure that you barricade the door and open up the windows and try to at least do something. Who's blowing dro into the faces of children? That's what I thought. And then it was just so sad because you could see the boy in the background and his mother was playing with him. Y'all see this video? Oh my God, it's just so emotional. Don't get me started this morning. So emotional. Crystal writes, good morning, all. This is my first visit here. Hey, what's up, Crystal? Good to see you. You're always welcome. Welcome to the last honest place in Cincinnati media. Good morning to you. Good to see you. Tracy writes, don't be a stranger. Colerain just sent us a survey to see if our kids could return on the 22nd. Crazy. Well, at least these school districts are now understanding that you should poll the parents before you make these decisions. It goes back to what I told you about how why the board members, when they came on the show, why they sounded the way they did. They sounded that way because they were trying to defend the indefensible. They can't defend it. That's the reason why many of them sounded so crazy when they called into the show on the Yabba Dabba Doo tip. I'm like, wait a minute. This doesn't make any sense. The CDC and Duke University study. I'm like, hey, yeah, but that doesn't make any sense. Why are you baiting me? Come on now. I promise you that I would play this video for you. This is hilarious, man. It's hilarious and it's scary at the same time. You ready to be scared? I'll be honest with you. There are a few things scarier than what I'm about to show you. This is a straight up horror story. This is the face of humans worse than COVID. This is what I'm talking about. Okay. QAnon supporters are convinced that Donald Trump will be president again on March 4th. Apparently, there's some little unknown, obscure something in the Constitution that somebody's been reading too much. Put that book down and step away. That someone's been reading, and now they're convinced. These QAnon supporters are convinced. I'm going to play this clip for you. Now, warning, this is some scary-ish right here. I'm going to show you a video, a real-life, real-time example of humans worse than COVID. These humans are worse than COVID. Okay, y'all, hope you're in a good place. You're driving, you might just drive off of the road. That's how scary this is. This is the face of the apocalypse. I'm becoming more and more convinced that one of these QAnon supporters is going to blow our deal. And by our, I mean human beings. They're going to do something dumb. But watch this and we'll talk about it.
What were your thoughts on the violent insurrection incited by Trump at the Capitol?
Oh my God, that's all such a lie. That was all the left. We have all the proof. There's tons of proof.
January 6th was a plan that was pre-planned by the Democrats.
I knew that it was pre-organized by Antifa.
What did you think of what happened on the 6th?
On the 6th?
6th of January, the violent insurrection. What did you think of that?
That's what you guys call it, the insurrection?
What would you call it?
Well, I call it a movement by the communists to make it look like Trumpers did it. That's what I call it.
So many Trump supporters arrested at it.
Well, that's what you guys say. I don't believe that. You prove it to me.
I mean, there's all the indictments.
I mean, whatever you guys say, I don't believe any of it.
Right.
To tell you the truth.
These Trump supporters are in denial about what happened on January 6th, and some believe in QAnon.
What's going to happen at some point is there'll be arrests, and that'll include a lot of the line media, and then there'll be military tribunals.
Hasn't that been, they keep saying that for
Well,
years, and
no,
it's not happened.
it hasn't been years. It hasn't been
It's
years.
been since 2017. It's been years
Believe
now.
me, we're taking it. This is a 6,000-year-old death cult.
Right.
You can't take it down that quick.
I understand you're a very passionate Trump supporter, right? But you surely can admit that the people who stormed the Capitol were Trump supporters.
No, I definitely cannot. In fact, you're talking to the right person, because I can send you tons of footage that shows that was all the left dressed up, the Antifa, the BLM, dressed up as Trump supporters.
Come on.
It is my hope that President Trump comes back as the 19th president of the United States under the 1776, and that he is inaugurated on March 4th. That is my hope for our future.
Some have bought into a new conspiracy theory that Trump will return as the 19th president on March 4th. Why? Well, they have misinterpreted an 1871 law, and believe Ulysses S. Grant, who was inaugurated on March 4, 1869, was America's last legitimate president. It may all sound bizarre, but online discussion about March 4th has been a contributing factor in the decision to keep the National Guard in Washington, D.C.
Are you going to feel foolish on March 5th when Biden's still president?
Then Trump has a different plan in play.
Everybody keeps saying Trump has a plan, he has a plan. When he lost the election, they said he has a plan, he's still going to
Trump
stay that
didn't
way.
lose the election, sir.
But he did.
Trump did not lose the election, and that's where we differ.
Right.
And that's where I believe the information that Mike Lindell has put out,
The pillow guy.
of all of the abuse, corruption, stealing.
So you trust the man more who sells pillows than the Republican officials in Georgia?
Oh, absolutely.
But do you realize that sounds
Let me
crazy.
just tell you that the people in Georgia are sick.
And while most of the world looks on in horror at a deadly military coup in Myanmar, that's exactly what these Trump supporters hope to see happen here in the United States of America.
This whole thing with Biden is just, he's like a puppet president. The military is in charge. It's going to be like Myanmar, what's happening in Myanmar. The military is doing their own investigation, and at the right time, they're going to be restoring the republic with Trump as president.
What's going on
different
in Myanmar
country.
right now? The government took over and they're redoing the election.
Would you like to see it happen?
Absolutely.
I would like to see it
Really?
happen. Yes.
You know why? Because the election was stolen from us.
I never would have believed CNN would have given me a chance to speak the truth.
No.
What a miracle, praise God.
I mean, but we're going to say in our news report that QAnon is a conspiracy theory. You don't believe QAnon is a conspiracy theory?
Oh, I know it isn't. I know it isn't.
Oh, couldn't be. Yeah, she has to know. She's not like a believer. She has to know. That is one of the scariest things I've seen in a long time. That's a horror story. Again, like I told you, humans worse than COVID. So you telling me there's people running around here in this reality, right? Because I know with the MCU now, everybody believes in the concept of the multiverse, right? There's multiple universes all being played out at the same time. You just can't perceive it. The fuck? In this universe, there's people raiding around like, oh, 2 days from now, Trump's gonna become president. See, this is a big thing. This is a real big thing. Like if you go on Google right now, you're going to see probably like at least a half a dozen of these small little mini documentaries, which I love. And they're talking with family members who have lost family members to COVID. I'm sorry, to QAnon, not COVID, but QAnon. Like literally, I watched it like 3 weeks ago. Young white girl. She said she grew up in an affluent house, estranged from her parents because her parents travel the country now on some QAnon stuff. She says it's totally consumed them to the point where she can't even bring it up now. Because she's like, every time you bring it up, somehow it becomes an argument and she becomes the enemy, right? You ever dealt with somebody like that? They're dealing with their own delusion. And when you challenge the delusion, they get mad at you. You know what I'm saying? My mother's like that. I'm going to be honest with you. My mother, man, listen, Chairman Mom don't play no games. I told you what she did in the hospital. We had to get her out of there quick and put her into a nursing home because I was afraid somebody was going to do something to her. I was dead up afraid because I know my mother. Soon as she became, because if you don't know, she was sick for a while and I was not in a good place, but she was sick. She was completely out of it, not conscious, fully intubated, the whole 9 yards, if that's the correct term. And I just knew that when she came out, she was going to come out swinging. And she did. I got a call from my sister like, talk to your mother. She cussing out people. I'm like, Ma, what happened? You know, I'm almost out the door. Nostrils flaring. Like, what's going on with my mother, right? She out there wilding out. Talking about how she going to get people to beat up the nurses. My son going to come up here and beat you up. Mom, I'm not going to come there and beat up the nurses for no reason. I'm not sure if she was talking about me or one of my younger brothers. So I'm talking about just wilding out. My mother's like that. And if she's the kind of person that she's at an age right now where she don't give a damn. Like literally, if you're on the phone with my mother, it's a running joke with all of us. If you're on the phone with my mother and you start going down a path of questioning or just a conversation you don't want to, here's what you're going to hear. Click. She said, I got to go pee. And then click. That's it. That's all you're going to hear. We all laugh about it. Her brother, my uncle, we were laughing about it like a couple of weeks ago. He said that she hung up on him. I don't know what happened with your mom. We started laughing. We know what happened. She didn't want to talk no more. That's what happens when you get older. The older you get, the less you don't have no patience for nothing. That's how I'm going to be. Oh, Mr. Wilson. I'm going to be the black Mr. Wilson in my neighborhood, just cranky for no reason. Bah humbug, maybe. Maybe, or maybe not. Dan writes, the end of the third quarter is March 12th. Well, Dan, we only got 2 weeks left then. We got 2 weeks left. So they're going to bring them back for the fourth quarter. 5 days a week. So now we don't even need 1 day a week to clean everything. They said that they had everything. They could clean everything overnight. Okay. Sounds good. This whole thing with CPS, I'll say it again. If the people at CPS are smart, I've got no reason to believe otherwise. If they are smart, they will come out of this as a better district, a more responsive district, a more flexible district, a district that is capable of dealing with COVID-20 in 2021. Okay. That's how I'm going to stand fast on that. I remain steadfast on that point, that this could make them a better school district if they're smart. The school year is already shot. Kids out in. Just regroup and plan better for next semester. I agree completely. But some of these board members, like Ben Lindy, he's in favor of 5 days a week, 5 days a week, 5 days a week, 5 days a week. And I'm trying to figure out what is his motivation. I know he's also the president of some kind of organization that provides teachers. Is there a motivation there? Is that why he's pushing it so hard? I'm trying to figure out what is the push for 5 days a week. I don't care about 5 days a week. I care about safety. Right now, we're still in the red. Period. Good morning, Nate. Good morning, Nathan in the Choppers. Good morning to you. Greg writes, I just read that Ohio is expanding eligibility for vaccines and is including more essential workers. Does this new list include teachers? Amina writes, surveys should have been sent a long time ago. Right. Exactly. It should have been sent a whole long time ago. And then a lot of this, and it was so funny because I heard like Ben Lindy was making points that we made to him. You know, Ben Lindy was starting to make points that he should have been making. He should have been making these points. Y'all should have been saying this stuff. But no, y'all was on some dumb ish. Yeah, I agree with you completely on that. Willie writes, now parents are asking that it should be a student survey also. Why not? Why not? James writes, good morning. I think when you're making a critical decision, you can never have too much information. That's what I think. Tracy writes, I believe so, but I know some teachers that have already gotten the first round. Tiffany writes, I'm in Winton Woods. They sent us a notification over the weekend that said our kids return in person in March 8th. Then high school returns to the old school next week. Then turn around after spring break to the brand new high school. Cass in the house, she writes, hey, Choppers, good to see you. Good to see you. Leah writes, did anybody see Bessie Sunderman, Emily Bates being chummy in that photo op? Yes, we talked about it yesterday. I did see it. And I don't understand what they're trying to communicate. We're going to get the schools back at the kids. The kids are already back in school. What are you talking about? The kids have never left school. We're going to get them back in school. The kids have been in school. Call it what it is. You want to get kids back in person learning. The language matters. I saw it, Leah, and I thought it said a lot about Bessie Sunderman. Rather than just falling on her sword, so to speak, and just apologizing and or resigning, she's going to double down and connect with her political allies. And one of them is Bessie Sunderman. The other one is Jason Williams. And Jason Williams basically painted her out to be some kind of princess, some kind of warrior against the evil the teachers union, which is, I thought it was ridiculous. So I saw it. Gingers got to stay together. Girl power, girl power, girl power. You're both grown ass women. Talking about some fucking girl power. Girl power. Melanie Bass is like 60 something. Talking about some damn girl power. You mean woman power? Girl power. Girl power. The fuck is wrong with these people, man? Dear Lord, dear Lord. Oh, you know what? I didn't say my prayers. Lord, forgive me for my brash delivery. I know not what I do. Amen. Okay. So now I'm covered. I can say anything now, still get to heaven. So there it is. Look at this again since you brought it up. You had to bring this up. Had to bring this up again, huh? Bessie Sunderman, I joined a group of parents outside the CPS school board meeting tonight. I want CPS to offer an in-person option to Walnut children who haven't been inside their school in a year. Hashtag open schools. Who gives a damn what Bessie Sunderman? Wait a minute. Wait now. Now, Bessie Sunderman is the council person that won't vote. Like if things come before council that she believes is outside of council's authority or something like that, she won't vote on it. That's her one girl protest about, you know, the wasteful attitudes of city council. So here you are, city council member, right? Council has no purview in this fight whatsoever, but you want to insinuate yourself up there. I keep telling you. I keep telling you, man. Now she wants to join the fight. Here it is. Redheads, girl power, open schools. The schools are already open. Somebody needs to tell this woman that. This is hilarious. Girl power. They're like over 100 years old between the two of them. Talking about some damn girl power. Will you stop it? See, this is Leah's fault. Leah's fault, not mine. Angela writes, good morning, powerful people. Good morning to you, Angela. Leah writes, I'm sorry, Melanie beats using voice to text. Vernon writes, the governors know the weather is going to be getting warmer and they want people out spending money. Yes, they do. And Kush writes, good morning, Nate and Choppers. Good morning to you, Kush. Yes, they do. They want the people to get out there and spend that money. I get it. I get it. Trust me, I do. I get it. And get out there and do what you got to do. I understand. Hold on one second here. Oh, it got me locked at 720p. Damn, I don't like that. Alicia writes, in 2007, I ran for school board. To get the signatures, I stood outside school sporting events, Kroger, Target, and knocked on doors in my neighborhood to get them. That's on her. How many signatures do you have to get to be on the school board? Shit, that's on her, huh? Craig writes, what's up, Craig? Good to see you. Good morning from early San Diego. Okay, good to see you. What's up, Angela Kinney? Good to see you as well. Good to see you. Anthony writes, I would think they at least looked at the photocopies and checked the names were good. Then with originals, she should be good. I can see that could be maybe a small opening, but maybe I only think that because of my lack of understanding and information about the process. Okay, Anthony. So I hear what you're saying, and I could see logically, I can see that maybe making some kind of difference. But I fully admit that I don't have any information about the Board of Elections. I have no insight whatsoever. I'm not working on any available information that's useful in any way whatsoever other than my opinion. So I could be saying something that's completely wrong. And so I don't know. It could be, again, gleaning what I remember from my conversation with Joe Mallory, president of the NAACP, one half of the dynamic duo that comprises the Truth to Power podcast. he said that the deadline is already passed. And that basically, something like once your votes have been certified or documented or whatever, that's it. And that's why I asked I asked Kelly, okay, what was the earliest that she turned in the signatures, and could she have turned them in earlier? I'm no different from anybody else. We think the same way. If I have to get 500 signatures in my head, I need to get 2,000 signatures. Just the way my life works. You know what I'm saying? Just the way my life has worked, I need to get 2,000 signatures just to make sure. Okay. Now that sounds easier than what it can possibly be. Because like I said, we had bad weather. You got COVID. If you knock on my door, I'm probably not going to answer. We'll monitor you through our security systems and then make a decision as to whether we want to engage you face to face. Friends, family members, leave it at the door. Leave it at the door. Then when you get away, then we'll go through our procedure for intake. You know what I'm saying? For COVID. Everybody's got a procedure for intake, things that come into your home. I get it. See, Glenn writes, you would be setting precedents if you allowed her to go past the deadline date. What is the start date for collecting signatures? I agree. Angela writes, a suggestion, please. Please have Joe Malley on to discuss what the coming election cycle might look like. I will. What's up, Crystal? She writes, Nathan. I will do that. That's a good idea. These kids being killed, heartbreaking. Love on your babies and watch out for your neighborhood babies too. Right. Absolutely. Mental illness is real. That's what I think happened in that case, man. God gave people free will. It's up to people to follow the first commandment or not. That's in case. Come on, Greg. I hear you on that, man, but mental illness is real. This brother that's been arrested for Nilo Lattimore and killing his mother, I think all of us are angry about it, and we want to see justice be done. He needs to get what he deserves. But what if the man is mentally ill? I mean, wouldn't you think, if I describe the crime to you, don't you think those are the actions of somebody mentally ill? I know that the mainstream society and mainstream news has spent a lot of time convincing us that there are just people in our community that are just straight up barbaric, they're just straight up evil. And that might be true. But I'm also wondering if some of these people don't get misclassified as being evil when in fact they're mentally ill. This man just killed 2 people including allegedly a 3-year-old. Those are not the actions of somebody that's sane. It's not the actions. Did he kill Nilo because Nilo witnessed him killing his mother and he felt like he had to bury his tracks or to cover his tracks? That could be. That could be. I don't know. We'll find out. The Great Resistance is what TNT says. Anthony writes, they just changed the rules to win of the game to win. TNT writes, repeat behavior from the past. Black gains turn into white backlash. Anthony writes, Repubs won't let the little spade trump a king. Little spade trump a king. Okay. Glenn writes, was $15 minimum wage part of the GOP platform the last 4 years? Not talking about the Gucci gang plan. That's hilarious. The Gucci gang plan. I want him to run. He will simply lose again. They will change all them laws when the Democrats take over. Well, people need to watch it. Down in Georgia, and in even some other states where Joe Biden won, these Republicans are using the election fraud claims that were basically fake news. They're using that as a rationale to pass these more strict election laws. It's all legal, but it's all targeted in most cases at black voters because they don't want you to vote. I used to say it for years. I think people understand that now. Smart, dumb cats. These are people, some of the dumbest people I ever met are smart as hell on the surface or got degrees. Dumb as rocks. Some people can outsmart. They're so smart, they outsmart themselves. Neither impeachment trial was successful in at least making sure that he couldn't run for president again. Right, you're right about that. TNT writes, the rise in conspiracy theory nuts and brainwashed white evangelical denies the truth and worships the lie. I'm just telling you, one of these people believe in QAnon so deeply that I believe they represent a threat. Now, we watched Judas and the Black Messiah. We know all about COINTELPRO. I just hope that the FBI has infiltrated these QAnon groups and some of these white supremacist groups to make sure that when the ideas come up, because all these little fringe groups want to make a moment, they want to have a moment, make a mark, do something to grab people's attention. When they decide to do that, we need to have the boys ready for them to deal with them. Simple as that. Simple as that. Same way you deal with Fred Hammonds. Brand writes, if they require 500, you collect 2,000. You can still only turn in 1,000 of them. The others avoid it. It's an undemocratic process to make you go back and start all over again rather than go petition for the remainder of if the deadline is not up. I agree with that. Yeah, why not? So why start all over again? Like if I have to get 500 signatures and I bring you a batch of 1,000 and then you tell me only 400 are valid, then bank the 400 and all I got to do is get 100 more, right? What's wrong with that? That seems to be a much easier thing to do as opposed to I got to start all over again. Now, do you really have to start all over again? Or can you just take that 400 with you? You know you got 400 and you just work to get the others. You tell me. Let me see. What up, Jay? What's up, Jay? Charles writes, good morning, everyone, and thanks a billion, Nathan. Oh, absolutely. You already know. Maurice writes, I missed the Pinnacle security info. Is there a link? There is a link in today's description. Yes, you can check it out there. And also, I'll put the information back on the screen for you so you can check it out for yourself. And I'll read it for you. If Pinnacle Protection Agency is seeking installers, those with professional camera, DVR, and alarm experience will be highly favored. But of course, they're willing to work with you. I was talking with the ownership, and what they relayed to me is that even if you had experiences, let's say in a cable installer, they can work with you as well. This is a local family-owned business, and they are looking to expand their reach. And so therefore they're rising to the demand that they are seeing. They're looking for more installers. Okay. So if you're interested, you can email your resume to info@pinnacleprotectionagency.com, or you can simply call 513-506-5010. Okay. If you're interested in getting in contact with the folks at Pinnacle Protection Agency, again, I'll leave that up for you. You can check it out for yourself. Again, info@pinnacleprotectionagency.com, or you can call 513-506-5010. Now, this is also, as I said, a family-owned, Black-owned business. And I think many of the folks in this room understand what that means and just how important it is to recycle your dollars. Okay. And so if you, and again, I see this two ways. One, you may be that person that's looking for an opportunity, or you know someone that's looking for an opportunity. And then secondly, you may need their services. You may be looking to install a security system or a smart security system for your home, for your office, for your place of business. Okay, this could be a great opportunity to recycle your dollars and work with a reputable family-owned business that's based here in the Cincinnati area. So again, that's info@Pinnacle Protection Agency. All right, hopefully you got that information. If not, hit me up and I'll share it with you via DM. Check it out. Yeah, so y'all see that? Wow. Oblivious TNT. Scariest thing I've seen in my entire life. Oblivious. But what it speaks to, family, is people want to belong. Like when I look at QAnon supporters, I see people that want to belong to something. You know, if you look at Trump supporters, Trump gave them something to believe in, to be a part of, complete with a slogan. You got a hat, you got a charismatic leader, and you have enemies, right? The fake news, the left. They're all, you've got all of the elements to build culture. And if you can build a culture, then it might be attractive to people who are looking to be a part of something. And so that's what I see from QAnon. These people are a part of something. They're a part of something special. Everybody wants to feel like they're a part of something special. Everybody wants to do something special, right? Everybody wants to be a part of something that matters. And they want to do something that matters. And that's what QAnon and Donald Trump is giving these people. Donald Trump gave you a charismatic leader to get behind. He gave you a slogan that, who's against it? Make America great again. What a great statement for the times we live in. Speaks two things. Number one, about your intentions. Our intention is to make America great. And for people who are whose happiness in their personal identity is tied up with the identity of the country, that's great. But also speaks to, in terms of, in a very intelligent and short way, is commentary about the world we live in. Things are not right. So therefore, we got to make it like it used to be. Like, raise your hand if you don't have some kind of idea about the good old days. The good old days, right? Everybody says it, the good old days. And so he's giving you all of that. And you've got heroes, you've got villains, the evil leftist, mainstream media, fake news. You got it all. And so these QAnon folks, man, they went for it hook, line, and sinker. Hook, line, and sinker. They feel like they're a part of something. So when I saw that video, TNT, that's what I got from it. You know, I got from it that being a part of QAnon serves a real purpose in the lives of some of these people. Give them something to do. They bored. Give them something to believe in. You know, give them something to be able to make them a little less fearful about the crazy world we live in, right? That's all it is. That's all it is. What is this here? What is this? Okay. Virtual. Oh, okay. I'm not even sure what that is. I'm not even sure what the hell that is. Quite honestly. I don't even know what the hell that is. Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. It's absolutely crazy this morning. Glenn writes, damn, I just watched this video last night. Amina writes, the 19th president? Say what? The 19th president, Amina. The 19th president, because as the piece said, some people believe that Ulysses S. Grant was the last legitimate president. And so on March 4th, in 2 more days, something's going to happen. And I guess it's going to be like some WandaVision. They're going to create their own reality. This is crazy, man. Keep hoping for your future. I know that's right. Oh, man. Absolutely. Tracy writes, they are slow. Vernon writes, what in the hell is wrong with these people? I just told you they want to feel a part of something. Sister Iris is right. Pay attention. They are organizing. They're organizing right now. Oh, you watching the Nets game? Man, they're in some QAnon chat room plotting on how they're gonna, reestablish Trump as the next president. And, while a lot of people might not be voting because you don't believe in it, these QAnon folks are voting. That's for sure. They're gonna vote every election. Kamika writes, better watch these people. That's my whole point. Watch them. Amina writes, these people are bat-ish crazy. Iris writes, why talk to a person who refuses to wear a mask? I agree with you. Ernest writes, holy ish. Glenn writes, the only thing worse than a Karen is a crazy Karen. 2 beer minimum. See, there you go. Daryl writes, these people are serious. Voter suppression laws are going through state houses all over the county, all over the country. Yes, they are. Again, Daryl, listen, man, thanks for bringing it up, bro. I'm going to stay on top of it. We've been talking about it. I'll continue to bring it up when relevant. You're absolutely right about that. Now, they haven't tried it in Ohio, and I think you probably will see some voter suppression efforts. But in Ohio is a red state. So they don't feel the need to do those kind of things in red states because they're already winning. They're already winning. Are they playing Fire by the Ohio Players? I'm not sure. Someone writes, Janine writes, sadly, we work prior to telework and live next to these people. Absolutely. These are our neighbors. These people are insane. You're saying they're insane. What I'm saying is they found something they believe in. Toy writes, people are worse than COVID. Sounds like a podcast waiting to happen, right? People worse than COVID. Vernon writes, Nathan Ivey, that's my mom now. She will go completely off at any time. My chairman mom, that woman, you could be on the phone with her and you're really getting a vibe with your mom. And she'll be like, okay, gotta go now, click. Okay, ma. Love you too. Bye. She already off the phone. That's just how she is. She like that with all the family, all of us. Danita writes, good morning, all. Hey, good to see you, as always, Danita. Nakia writes, every business or organization will be agile when we come out of this pandemic. The ones that survive will. Man, I was just watching a documentary on black businesses throughout the country and why black businesses fail. It was done, I believe, by CNBC. They do a lot of mini docs. I like mini docs. I want to create a few mini docs. I got a couple of good ideas. But it was amazing just going year by year how businesses don't survive and how they sort of fall to the wayside. It's real out here. It's real out here. That's why, here on Nathan Ivey Show, Syndicate Media, and whatever else comes next, we 100% support black businesses. You know what I'm saying? I even go out of my way to support businesses that are not paying me to do so because you got to do it for the culture. You got to do it for the ancestors. You know what I'm saying? It has to be done. Jay writes, it's got to be a hidden agenda. I want to talk with some QAnon folks. So I'm interested in doing a show with some QAnon folks. I like to talk with some people who are out of the lifestyle. And then, it's like I'm talking about swinging. And then talking to some people who are in the lifestyle, the QAnon lifestyle. I'll put more effort into that. I'd be very interested in hearing their thoughts. And it's kind of analyzing how they really think. TNT writes, if they do 5 days a week, they better be doing weekly COVID testing with transparent data on COVID-19 infections. They need to do that anyway. They need to do that. Yeah. CPS needs to do that 5 days a week while we're in the red. I don't see any reason why. I can't see any reason why. There are no real good reasons why. And, I think that if the Cincinnati public school system gets a reputation that they are going to err on the side of caution for the people that work for them, I think that's a good thing. I mean, to me, that's a really good thing. I don't see anything negative about any of that. Tracy writes, I'm wondering what the infection rates are at colleges, dorm life. That's a good question. I do not know. You don't hear too much about that. Maxine writes, a whole lot of students are failing because of virtual learning. Maxine Wells. I'd like to see the numbers on that. I'd like to see the numbers on who is failing, and then I'd like to compare those numbers to what those students did previous to COVID. You know what I'm saying? I take your word for it, Maxine, but I want to see the numbers. I want to see what are the actual academic records. Like, what are the grades that children are receiving? Because I can definitely see that virtual can be a real hindrance for some students. Because every student works differently. Okay. Other students are getting straight A's. So To me, once we look at the numbers and then compare the numbers to what they were previous, meaning like if you have a student who's been failings in virtual learning, was that student failing before virtual learning? What was the achievement level? What was that student doing beforehand? That information I think is really, really necessary to really draw any real conclusions. Anthony writes, white girl magic, Nate. You talking about Bessie Sunderman and Melanie Bates, girl power. Between the two of y'all over 100 years of age. Talking about some damn girl power. Y'all way past girl stage. Bessie Sunderman and Melanie Bates. Please stop it. Redheads, open schools. Somebody should take on her social media account. It's just hilarious. People are going in, man. This is hilarious. Somebody writes, thanks, ladies. Keep fighting overpaid union teachers and whiny vaccinated teachers. If you see guys in a bar, I'm not going to record. I'm paying your bill. Okay. Free drinks from Melanie Bates. Somebody writes, I used to love redhead women. That's hilarious. Oh, man. Somebody writes, this is embarrassing. You alone make Cincinnati awful. I agree with that. The Hub OTR wrote, are you guys both meeting up to chat about your upcoming resignations? That's hilarious. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, my God. This is hilarious. I'm on, when you stop for coffee and end up scheming to spread the coughing. That's hilarious. Oh, my God. What am I doing now? I'm on Twitter. I'm on Bessie Sunderman's Twitter page. Hold on. I'm sorry. I should include you in the fun. I'm on Bessie Sunderman's Twitter page right now and reading some of the comments. People are going in. I love the internet. I love it. Spring break equals new variants. Get to relax and we going right back. Get to relax and we going right back. Get to relax and we going right back. Brent writes, so Kelly Prather's signature paper is too wet to turn into the Board of Elections, but not to make photocopies? Question mark, question mark, question mark. I didn't think about that. So somewhere out there, there's a effed up Kelly Prather. How does she photocopy? So she must have taken photocopies. So either one or two things happened. Either she went to a photocopy machine and then put the wet documents in the machine and made copies, or she laid the wet copies down on something and then took a photograph with her phone. Either one of those things happened. Thank you, sir. Oh man, look at all this love I'm getting.
I'm going to school today.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, man. Ah, man. Love you too, son. What? Okay, there it is. I'm special this morning. Let me see. Iman, Brother Powell's in the house. He writes, there are people that you can hire to get your signatures. If the brother says, I would imagine that's true. Yeah, I think Brother Powell would know that. I think that I'm gonna take the brother for his word. I feel for Kelly because I really like Kelly, and I want to work with Kelly on another project. I like Kelly, and I then, as a black man, I love the idea of black female leadership. We need that. We deserve a black female, a progressive, conscious black female mayor. We deserve that. We almost had it with Yvette Simpson, but some of y'all was tripping. That was tripping. You know what I'm saying? We almost was that close to getting what we deserve here. So I love the idea of Kelly being in the race because of diversity, gender diversity, and I wanted to see it. I want to see her push the envelope. So I am, for one, disappointed. Just like I was disappointed that the Sittenfield and Smitherman were not in the race. That was the mayoral race that we all deserved. We deserved that. That was going to be, man, that was going to be the chronic. I'm not sure what I'm communicating. It was going to be super hot, put it that way. Yeah. Yeah. Strike that from the record. Strike that from the record. I don't know what the hell I was saying. Maxine writes, true, Nathan. So you can do that. After you spend 10 years on the air, you can strike things from the record and it doesn't matter. See, seniority. Got to be on the air for at least 10 years, though. Yeah, that's exactly how it works. Lisa writes, Nate, did you see the specifics about the 6-year-old killed by his mom? No, I didn't see the specifics about it, Lisa. What did I miss? Little boys, I'm telling you, that's a special place in my heart right there. I just see they little faces. It just tears me up. I just can't do it. I couldn't see it. I couldn't see it. No, I don't want to see that. Vernon writes, Nathan, both of these people planned how they were going to kill these babies. They are not crazy. Maybe they're not crazy, Vernon. Maybe they're not. I'm just saying, I just want to put that out there as a possibility, because the actions of killing a child to me are the actions of somebody that's insane. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's a drug thing or it's some other kind of beef, that you can understand a little bit more, but a child defenseless, nah, I can't get down like that. Yeah, man. Okay, I think Maurice he said, appreciate it, bro. Pinnacle info. Okay, great. I'm glad you got it. Yeah, give them a call. Let them know you heard about a Nathan Ivey show. That's super important because, you know, on my end of things, you know, I know that we can deliver, no doubt about that. But, you know, having that anecdotal evidence is very, very important. So please let them know you heard about it on the Nathan Ivey show. Appreciate it. Just announced Vernon Jordan passed away. Is that right? Is that right? Let me check that out. Oh, I see that. Vernon Jordan passed away. Civil rights leader and close ally of Bill Clinton. He is a brother, by the way. Damn. Dies at 85. Huh? That's a good age. We should all be so lucky. We should all be so lucky to live that long. Like a gang, like a cult. You know, QAnon is like a cult. Charismatic leader, a whole bunch of seems like con game kind of stuff. Basically, people are being finessed. Let's call it what it is. People are being finessed to support this. And it is what it is. People believe all kind of stuff. The worship of Trump is more than their belief in God. They made a freaking gold calf for Trump. TNT writes, Kelly made the decision not to turn in the damn petition. There was no guarantee the damn petitions would be accepted, but copies definitely are not accepted. Many believe she should have turned in both to be on the safe side, but it was no guarantee any of it would have been accepted, unfortunately. Right. Yeah, I mean, people might try to say like Kelly didn't work hard enough to get signatures, and that's not what I see. I mean, she said she went out 3 times and got over 1,000 signatures. To me, that's working. So she definitely put the work in. It seems to me as if it was just an unfortunate set of circumstances that led to it. You know what I'm saying? But when people try to make it seem like Kelly didn't work hard, I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true at all. I think she worked hard. That's the evidence you can see in the fact that she got over 1,000 petitions signed. It just didn't work in her favor. Let's go to the phones, shall we? Hey, good morning. Welcome to the show. Oh, they just hung up as we were coming on. Call me back. I'll put you straight on. You got the number there if you're interested. I feel like that logo's being washed out. Let's put it that way. There it is. Now you can see it. Yeah, call me back. I'm not sure what that number was. It was an 8-something number, 871 number. Call me back. I'll try to put you on if you're interested in getting put on this morning. Nay, you have 2 and a possible black QAnon folks that call you daily. Yeah. You're talking about Black Russia. Jerica writes, hola, what did I miss? You missed everything, Jerica. You missed everything, Jerica. Good morning. Where you been? Come on in here. Let me switch things up a little bit. I want to talk about this. I want to talk about Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving is one of the best ballers in the NBA. He won a championship with Cleveland and LeBron many years ago. And right now he's a point guard or a player for the New Jersey Nets, right? That team got the Nets, Harden, and also KD. Well, Kyrie Irving recently made a statement that has rubbed some people the wrong way, and I have no problems with it. I have no problems with it. Kyrie Irving is getting heat because he made a very provocative statement about the future of the league. And since we just commemorated the 1 year anniversary of the death of Kobe Bryant, there's been a lot of conversation about changing the league's logo. The league's logo, the NBA. I'm talking about the NBA, the National Basketball Association. This will be about basketball, but really about Black culture in a second. It's about basketball, but it's really about Black culture, okay? We'll talk about it in 1 second. Don't go anywhere. But I want to show something to you real quick. I want to show you the NBA logo, okay, so you know what we're talking about here. This is an illustration of the NBA's logo, okay? It's coming real quick. Hold on 1 second. Okay. And all right. So here, this is the NBA's logo. See that? That's the NBA's logo. And there's been conversation about changing it. That image right there is of a player named Jerry West. And Jerry West is a white male. And his image, his silhouette has been the logo for years and years and years. People have said that instead of it being Jerry West, that it should actually be Michael Jordan. That would make sense, right? See that? But of course, Michael Jordan, he's got his logo on something that's probably personally far more profitable to him. And that is his own shoes, the Jumpman logo. Okay. So ever since Kobe passed away, people have been saying, well, we should change the logo and it should be Kobe Bryant. So that's the logo, but let me show you one of the images I believe it came from. There it is. That's Jerry West, sort of like in real life. And that was back when he was young. He was a young gunner back then. He don't look like that no more. Now he's he's like an executive and things like that. So Kyrie Irving, he made a statement, as I've set the table for you. He made a statement that some people say is very provocative. And he's saying that Kobe Bryant and his silhouette should now take over and be the new logo. And that's not what really got him, the critique. It was because he said, quote unquote, Black kings built the league, speaking of the NBA. And because of that reason, that's the reason why a Black king, such as a Kobe Bryant type, should be on the logo. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm liking Kyrie Irving. Like, if you don't know it, he gave some money to, I think it was the family of, who was it? I think it was George Floyd's family. He bought them a house. And apparently Kyrie Irving is one of those NBA players that's really, 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 really on some equity policy intangibles for Black people type of thing. I like that. And I understand the statement. The league was built on the backs of Black kings. Yeah, Jerry West, Jerry Smash. And yeah, you had Larry Bird. And, they played their role in terms of making white audiences really give a damn about, the game. You know what I'm saying? For white folks, when they go to the NBA, they need to have something they can identify with. Yeah. I know you're not supposed to talk in those kind of terms, but that's the reality of it. I even saw Larry Bird say something as much as that. He understood his role. He was like, Eminem, white dude in rap. You know what I'm saying? Eminem became big with primarily white audiences in black culture. You can say the same thing with, you know, some of these white ball players, even though they play a big role. I think Larry Bird was dope, won rings, all that kind of stuff. He couldn't compete in today's game. But the league itself was built off the backs of black kings. Magic, Olajuwon. Like, if you go through the list of the greatest players, yeah, you got a few white dudes sprinkled on there. But the people that were really the box office, it was all brothers. That's kind of changing now. Like, today, I would say it's the same way, but you got a player for Dallas named Luka Doncic. And it looks like he's pretty dope. So, you know, he's going to be the white savior, you know, moving into the future. I mean, I don't say it derogatorily. I'm just saying it is what it is. I say that matter-of-factly. It is what it is. If you can be the white savior, especially in anything involved in black culture, and you good, I mean, you're going to make a backlog of money. You're going to make a boatload of money. You're going to have more money you can actually spend. But I agree with Kyrie Irving, man. Change up. I mean, if they want to make, I think it should be LeBron. But if you want to make it Kobe, make it Kobe. But he's right in the sense that black kings built the league. That's why we need more black ownership of the league. You know, whether they make Kobe Bryant the new logo or not, the best way, the only measuring stick in terms of their claims of diversity that really matter when it comes to any of the sports leagues, whether that be the NBA, Major League Baseball, NFL, is the percentage of their ownership that is owned by black folks and or former black players. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the logo is nice. That'll be dope. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. Change the logo, make it Kobe Bryant. That'll be nice. But if you really want to show how much you care, then they need to create more pathways to ownership for some of the black kings that actually help to build the league. That's what the real power move is, in my opinion. But I throw it out there. You may or may not give a damn. If you do and you have a thought, please share. 513-873-7134. Brian writes, Kobe or Jordan logo must be most definitely, absolutely, and more black ownership of the teams. If you can't find one owner, then support the process in which you can bring together. Maybe you got a half a dozen or a dozen, you know, folks that come together, and together they collectively buy some of these teams and the ownerships. That's when you start moving the needle. Brian writes, Steph is the future. No, LaMelo Ball is the future. Steph is the past. You know, Steph is on the downturn. He's still balling now. Don't get me wrong. He's balling out of control. I mean, I'll choose him on my team any day of the week. But, you know, it's the young gunners. It's people like Zion. It's people like LaMelo Ball, who, by the way, is balling out. He just got a weird look to him. And sometimes those be the best basketball players. He's got a weird, unorthodox kind of look to his whole everything. He shoots the ball weird. Be doing floaters with his knee all the way in the air. He looks very, very weird, but he's effective, man. Props to that, his father, who did a great job. Everybody tried to hate on this man. Props to his father. He did a great job. Absolutely 100%. What's this now? Oh, okay. Okay. Got you. 100%. Got you. Oh, my God. No. Mom who killed her 6-year-old running over her, who admitted to fatally running over her 6-year-old, not showing much remorse. You talking about that mother up in Middletown? I'm looking at this little boy, man. Oh, my God. Got his little glasses on. It's just very tough. Middletown mother who admitted she tried to abandon her 6-year-old son, ran him over, and then dumped his body in the Ohio River is not showing much remorse. Search and rescue teams are now searching for James Hutchison near Lawrenceburg, Indiana, where they believe his body was thrown into the water. That's from the Middletown police chief, David Burke. What in the hell is happening with these babies out here, man? I'll say it again. Not every person is fit to be a parent. Not every person is fit to bring a child into this world. Not everybody is ready for that. Glenn says, I say leave it the way it is. Brian writes, no, it shouldn't be LBJ, Nate. I know you'll find a way to get him into the logo conversation, LOL. I mean, why not? He's a better player than Kobe. So what? You don't have to be dead to get that honor. Look at Jerry West. He's still alive. Why not? I don't see what the problem is. Nat writes, why Kobe? I can name better players. I agree. Because he's dead. He died tragically, and everybody has an emotion around it. I get it. I understand why, where people get that from. I get it. He comes from a good place, I think. But hell no. Charles writes, Kelly absolutely worked hard to get signatures. She was out everywhere. Yeah, she was. She was. You heard. She said she turned in some signatures, had to go back, get hundreds and hundreds of more signatures. I think it speaks to her work ethic. That's what I think. Like, people try to clown on I don't clown anybody that's in the game. I don't underestimate anybody. I don't underestimate anybody, and I don't clown anybody. I never look at somebody and put limits on them, and I never look at people and think, oh, well, they can't do this, they can't do that. I always assume the best. I always assume the best. City council could be Kelly's path to becoming mayor one day, but it seems as if she doesn't want to take that route. Yeah, I mean, it depends. I mean, she might pivot and now run for city council. She might. I see so many people running who have no name recognition whatsoever, and they're kind of building their name recognition and connections right now. So why wouldn't she have a shot? We'll see. Brent writes, Kelly seems to have a team that consists of me, myself, and I. See, there you go. Anthony writes, I just hate to see Kelly disqualified on a technicality. Me too. 100%. 100%. I feel you 100%, brother. Again, I've been pretty consistent in terms of my support for Kelly. We are where we are. Talking about the future of the league is Steph Curry, and he's 30-something years old. No, he's not. For the league, he is LaMelo Ball. I don't believe what his father said. His father said that if all his boys get on one team, they're going to do incredible, crazy, good things. They might be right. I'm not sure if you've seen it or not, but on Friday, Donnie B talked about the case of a young brother who was just walking home in the snow. And it reminded me of a case that we talked about here in the city that happened over in Cumminsville. And an 18-year-old boy, this happened in Texas. This 18-year-old boy was just walking home. The police see him, right? The police see him. He's walking home. So what do? They start harassing him. They start harassing this young boy. Start following him. Asking him questions about what he's doing and what's in his pockets. He ends up getting violently arrested and charged. And he hadn't done anything wrong at all. He simply was walking home. It was an ice storm, so he couldn't really walk in on the sidewalk. So he's walking in the street. The officers start following him and asking him a whole bunch of silly ass questions, making the situation a whole lot worse. They made the situation a whole lot worse. Let me see if I can pull this up for you. You got to see this if you haven't already seen it. Okay. Check this out. And again, I play these for the people that say that if you don't do anything wrong, then you don't have to worry about anything. Check this out.
Hey, look, we just want to make sure you're all right. We just want to make sure you're all right. Sir, you need to talk to us, okay? Sir.
This is my child. I see this, but it hits different when it's my son. When I see that video, I see my son. That's my child. He's 18, he's huge, but that is my son, that is my baby. And to see him done this way, and I'm constantly on him, RJ, make sure you make good choices in life. I instill Good choices, good choices. Walk a straight walk. And that night he was walking a straight line, and it landed him a night in jail. 18 years old, he should not have been exposed to a jail cell. Before that night, you can ask him, have you ever been arrested before? And he would honestly be able to say, no. At this point, that answer has changed to yes. He was arrested for something that he should not have even been arrested for. Walking home in the snow from work. He probably rang up groceries for some of those officers' wives or families that night. He stayed over late because there were so many people that called in to work that day because the roads were bad. And they asked him, can you stay over to help us get the store together and ready for the next day? And he said, I'll do it. I got it. I'll do it. They left him. He was one of the last people in the store that night. Everybody else left. The roads were bad. He knew he was walking. He was a 5-minute walk home. He could have called me to come and get him. But he said, Mom, by the time you warmed the car up to come get me, I could have been home. It's a 5-minute walk home. And it just kills me. I'm disturbed inside to know that my child, he's big, this is my child. This is my child. This is my baby. He's big, but this is my baby. And to see him done, arrested, violated the way he was, I moved to Plano for a reason. And that reason backfired on me. I chose to put him in what I felt like was a good area, a good neighborhood. I pay more to live in the area that I live in efforts to give him a better surrounding. And yet the people that I pay taxes to, I pay their salary, they didn't serve him that.
Right. So let me jump in here. So that's the mother going in. That's just it's tragic. That's like the worst case scenario, right? And what she described to me was a responsible young man. Ice storm, everybody else calling off. I'm here for you, boss. I'm here for my employer. Need me to stay afterward? I'll stay afterward. Ma, don't worry about getting the car out, Ma. I got you. I'm gonna walk home. Sounds like a responsible young man. Wasn't seen doing any crimes. So in the post-George Floyd world, what has the nation's law enforcement officers learned? Have they learned anything? Seems like back with a vengeance. Here in Cincinnati, we had a very similar circumstance. We had a young black man who we found out later is autistic. Same thing. He's just walking home in the snow. Police going, where you going? Who are you? Got any ID? For what? ID for what? Meanwhile, you got folks out here slinging a dog, slinging heroin. You got folks out here committing all kind of manner of crimes, but you got law enforcement still stuck on stupid. You could hear the pain in her voice, couldn't you? If you're a parent, you know what that's all about, don't you? If you're a parent, you know what that's all about, don't you? Let's go back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Nate. This is Brent from Dallas. How are you doing today?
Hey, what's up, Brent? Doing great, man.
Nothing
Welcome.
much. That's good. Yeah, just wanted to chime in on this story about the young man in Plano, which is where he got arrested is less than 10 minutes drive from where I live. And this young man was just walking home in the street because the sidewalks were covered with snow. And growing up in the North, even walking to school, we wouldn't walk on the sidewalks because they were never plowed, so we would walk alongside. And, that clip that you showed there was just a short portion of it, but they asked him on several occasions, are you okay? And he was like, I'm good. Nothing wrong. I don't need any help. And they continued to press, and he was like, well, you can help me by just leaving me alone. I'm just walking home. and around the corner, which is sad that they even, somebody felt the need to even call on him. But in addition to it, what you may not know is that Ed Drain, that police chief, he's actually Black. And he was the former police chief of the assistant police chief of Plano, then went to be Amarillo police chief and came back. And I've actually met him. He came and talked to a group of men back in, I think it was like 2017 when they had the 15-year-old girl in McKinney, which is 10 minutes away from me, where she got thrown to the ground by the officer who tripped and fell and everything. They were at a pool party. And, from this, you saw the statements that he popped up there, and he's former military and a police chief. And we were asking him questions, and I was there, and there's some older guys, asking him softball questions. And I was just asking him real questions because, he's a big boy. He can answer big boy questions. And the older guys there were getting upset with me, like, how dare you ask him a question about police bias, or how them, like, good Lord, the white folks don't hold back when they ask him questions. And we dapped up afterwards and everything. He was cool with the questions, but the basic thing is that a lot of these cops, especially those, because he was former MP, military police too. So if you've been military and then you become a police officer, I've just seen differences in how they react and how they, they'll stand behind the blue or stand behind the army or whatever before they stand behind their own people. Because one of the responses to his questions about them just, casting this large net and hemming folks up, he responded with, "Oh, there's people out there that will kill you and rape your wife and children." I'm like, what in the world? How is that justification for you violating my civil rights or brutalizing me? So yeah, that young man will be forever traumatized, and it's just a mentality in a lot of cases. And I know why he said what he said. He does not want to make the white officers mad. And that's the game that, Black police chiefs have to play. They played up there in Cincinnati, they played in Dallas, played in Plano. That's that fine line they have to do. But they know if they say something crossways, then there'll be an effort to get them out of that position, which is a double-edged sword. But at the end of the day, you Black, and you can't count on you going someplace and then knowing that you are a police chief or that you're an officer. So I just feel for the young man, and it happens all around, but when it hits close to home, and I got a 14-year-old and a 20-year-old, so that just really speaks to me, just having to keep that conversation open with them and constantly tell them that you have to be careful, you have to be aware, and don't think that you can do what you see your other friends doing, because they will not hold you to the same standard as they hold them, because they see them as their sons, as their nephews, as their family members. They see you in a lot of cases as the enemy, or as doing something wrong, or a suspect by skin color. So, but that's all I got for you, Nate. Hey, appreciate your time, and thanks for allowing me to chime in.
Oh, most def, man. Appreciate the flows. That's Brent from down in Texas. And again, this case is closer to you, so I appreciate perspective. Yeah, young man just walking home, got arrested. Didn't say anything wrong, didn't do anything menacing. There was no, we think somebody is out here trying to rob us. Just want to F with you today. That's it. Just want to F with you today. Got nothing better to do. So let's see. Let's shake the tree and see if something comes out. I blame the courts. Because it seems like through years and years and years of courts precedents, they've incentivized police officers for partaking in these type of interactions with citizens. Because if they shake you down and find something, then they can use it against you. And the courts have backed this up. So it almost damn near seems like it incentivizes officers to react in the way that they do and to interact in the way that they do. And so they're going to get more and more of it. Yeah, sure. In this case, everybody's outraged. But if they do this 10 times, and 6 out of those 10 times, they find like a weapon, or they find somebody that has a warrant, or they find some kind of drugs, they're going to get big attaboys back at the precinct. Attaboy, Jake. That's fine police work. So it's like, you got to break a few eggs to create an omelet, right? I think that's the way it feels. It feels like that's the way people look at it inside of law enforcement. Like, yeah, you got this one wrong, Jake, and I'm just using that name. But attaboy, keep at it. We know he was dirty. You just didn't catch him this time. All this kind of nonsense. So it's the world that we live in. 513-873-7134. Cam's in the house. He writes, they never let us so-called blacks own the plantation. Neither will they let so-called blacks own any of the major platforms such as NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, etc. Well, you're right about that, because the ownership groups have some say on who becomes a new owner and becomes a part of their group, right? So they set the rules, but you got all these big time, big money millionaires, all these new money millennials, and all these folks making millions of dollars and this, that, and the other. Then why can't they come up with something collectively where you have like a purchasing group? Maybe it's not just one person, but it's a group that represents the interest, and they buy a majority stake. That's it. I think that's totally possible. Why not? Why not? And that's what we should be pushing them to do. Like, everybody's like, oh, Colin Kaepernick needs to get his job back. No, wrong answer. I don't ever want to see Colin Kaepernick in the NFL. What we need to do because of Colin Kaepernick is to push the NBA. What? Is to push the NBA. Okay, great. It's to push the NBA to create more black-owned ownerships groups. They can do that. They can do that. If they can push a white billionaire out of the ownership of the Clippers because of some things he said about Magic Johnson, then they can, with intentionality, the next time a team opens up, let's say they want to expand the league and get it, they can prioritize minority ownership groups. They can do that. Sean writes, this is shameful. Cam writes, black pain profiteering through the media at its best. Black pain profiteering through the media at its best. Okay. Her emotions are real and his hard. Yes, it does. This shit makes me so heated right now. Sean writes, a better young man than the guy arrested for hitting a woman. Now, this was a wrongful arrest. I agree with you. Unfortunately, we have to be on alert and not take anything for granted. She's absolutely right about that. TNT writes, Trayvon Martin. A.R. Thompson writes, that's where the disconnect comes. There is no place that these people are exempt from committing crime, i.e. law enforcement. TNT writes, are you black or a token? That's the question. Angela writes, this is tactical racist white supremacist conditioning. Cam writes, slave patrol police department. Shante writes, William Ellison was a black slave owner in South Carolina. Jerica writes, I'm with you. I blame the system, but I blame the individuals too. Where is your integrity and morals? These officers should be fired. I'm with you 100%. Like I said, if I was a police officer, man, I'm out here trying to do the right thing all the time, 100% of the time. What's the point of being a police officer if you're not going to do the job right and uphold the law and try to be that real person? 871 number just called me back and hung up again, so call me back. Jerica writes, adult ADHD. Yeah. Talking about me, probably. Cam writes, Jay-Z tried it and they gave him an entertainment production deal. Shaking my head. They made him they put him in control of the halftime show at the Super Bowl. Right. So you're an entertainer, huh? You like the entertainment? I got an idea. Maybe you can choose the director of the halftime show. How about that? Now, previously it was all white, but we're going to switch things up again and give you folks a chance to entertain us. Okay. Black Knight at the Apollo. Tracy writes, there's a big difference between can't do Can do it and won't do it. You're right about that. You're right about that. Greg writes, I was actually curious, could Jay-Z do things to increase black ownership in NFL if Jay wanted to? I'm sure he is. If Jay-Z, with the kind of money he's worth, if he's smart, he would want to become an NFL owner. Number one, the way they run their business, man, you set up for life in terms of making money. And then number two, the way our society is set up, we make the owners of these teams out to be like demigods, right? They're so important. They mean so much. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. Sure they do. Sure they do. Sure they do. Before we roll out of here this morning, I want to remind you that there is an opportunity that is waiting for you to take advantage of it. The good folks at renewcommunitychurch.org, they're kicking off something new for the calendar year 2021. It's called their Focus 2021 series. They're kicking it off with a free 142-page ebook that is available to you. There's a link in today's description. Just follow the link or go to Renew, RENEW, communitychurch.org, and you can download the ebook this morning. You can also get set up for 30 minutes of free coaching with Charlie Winburn. All right. Check it out for yourself. And when you download it, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. That's what I want to hear. Also, my friends over at Pinnacle Protection Agency are looking for installers. They're seeking professional camera, DVR, and alarm installers. Now, that might be something that you're interested in. All right, just take a listen to this ad. We'll come right back.
Looking for great pay with a great family-owned company? Pinnacle Protection Agency is seeking professional installers. Pinnacle Protection Agency is innovative security for your world, offering services for commercial and residential clientele, which include smart home and business technology, intrusion, fire, surveillance and doorbell cameras, and a whole lot more. We want to hire experienced installers and are willing to train. Please send your resume to info@pinnacleprotectionagency.com. That's info@pinnacleprotectionagency.com. Call 513-506-5010.
And don't forget, today's show is also brought to you by the good folks at the Wellburn Experience, the wellburnexperience.com. That is their website that they want you to go to this morning. Check it out for yourself. Tell me what you think. We'll be right back.
It's that well-born experience. It's that well-born experience. That well-born experience. 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 It's that well-born experience. Yeah, that well-born experience. Yeah, that well-born experience. Experience. Tell us what you need. That's the question we start with. We specialize selling condos, houses, apartments. Make sure that you're happy with your residence. Keep it real, no filter. Oh, that's the realtor from the nattiest heaven sent. It's the well-born experience. Ain't nothing like it. Every time he talk to his client, he's so excited just knowing he able to put them in a place to lay their head. Not focusing on his profits, but on the client instead. Right. He keeps it so professional and from his conversation. You can tell he studies before sharing information. Educated, motivated, ain't nobody better. Who's willing to walk you through every step to relieve the pressure? Yeah. And just so you know it's real, you get a special personalized rug once he closes the deal. So go and call him up so he can get you live. 513-252-1055.
Again, that's 513-252-1055. 513-252-1055. And again, a great way of supporting this show. Well, there's a lot of ways of supporting the show. Number one, just checking us out every day, sharing the show. I got people that make donations. If you want to make a donation via PayPal, the Nathan Ivey Show. Same thing on Cash App, the Nathan Ivey Show. Shout out to my patrons for another month of your patronage. I appreciate you. Hey, Brian, I got your message, man. That's fine, brother. Go right ahead. And also supporting our sponsors. So give it a shot. Try something new. Try the Focus 2021 series. It's free, right? So your investment will be going to their website and downloading your information. And then while you're there, sign up for 30 minutes of free coaching as well. All right. I really appreciate you. All right. That's my time, family. I got to make a move. I really appreciate you. Have an excellent rest of your day. Remember, winners focus on winning, losers focus on winners. Keep your eyes glued to what we're doing here with CDM. We're just getting started. I really appreciate you. Okay. Yeah. So that's Cash App, Nathan Ivy Show, if you want to make a one-time donation, and also PayPal, Nathan Ivy Show. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for being here. We'll talk again tomorrow morning. Until next time.